craft beers, casual conversations. I'm your host, Drew. My guest this week is Rob, and we're going to be drinking a stout. And this is Dudes with Brews on a Porch.
Looks like it's time to dive into another great beverage. It's Dudes with Brews on a Porch. Let's check in with our friend Drew for this week's episode. Who will he talk to? What will they talk about? And what will they drink? What are you waiting for? Get your ass off the lawn and come on to the porch. It's Dudes with Brews.
Nice. Yep. That's when the intro comes in. Intro comes in, and now we're in the show. Hello. It's 8:38 on a Thursday morning. We work third shift, and we're gonna drink a little bit.
Hell yeah.
How are you this fine day?
I'm good.
You're discussing. You said the energy level has been low in the last times you've been on, Robert.
Yeah, I thought so.
I don't think so. I think they're okay.
Well, we've been half asleep the last couple times.
That's true. I got more energy today, even though I didn't get as much sleep as I would have liked. But I did have some coffee on. You can go ahead and sip it. Okay. I did have some coffee on lunch break, quote unquote lunch break at 4 a.m. And it kicked me up a little bit.
I slept on lunch break and on
I do
first
that.
break.
Yeah, I do that as well sometimes. All right, well, we're going to be drinking some iStout. This is from Wired Brewing, and this is a Russian imperial stout, and this is from Auckland, New Zealand, which is pretty sweet. So I got this with the Tavour app. Once again, it's like an app that you go on there. They release different beers, featured beers, each and every day. You have a limited time to buy it, and every month they crate it up, and they send you as many as you've ordered for the like $15 or something like that is the shipping. So it's pretty cool. Give it a shot if you got some extra money and things like that, and you want to try to find some beers that maybe you can't get in your area. Tavour, Tavour. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, but they say the details on this, it's 10% alcohol, 10% ABV, so pretty good. Give you a little kick. 70s on the IBUs. It says brimming with luscious roasted coffee and chocolate malt flavors, which are balanced by your brisk bitterness and bold freshness from the hops. If you're feeling politically incorrect, try it with your favorite cigar.
Nice.
Do you smoke cigars?
No. I did once. Probably not again.
One time I did throw up from a cigar because I like swallowed the smoke.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
Versus inhaling. You're not even supposed to inhale it.
I inhaled it, definitely.
I inhale everything that I smoke.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I smoke a lot. I have. I've smoked cigarettes. I've smoked cigars. Moving on. We read that part. So you can try it with your favorite cigar or a dram of your best single malt whiskey. What's a dram? I don't know.
That's like
don't drink
like
whiskey.
It's an amount, I believe.
Okay.
I might be sounding like an idiot. It's like a snifter, or is that? I feel like I've heard that on British TV shows.
Okay.
Give me a snifter.
Yeah, maybe. It says if your tooth is sweeter, why not jump into a deep end with the most decadent dessert of all? Half a bottle in a glass with a generous scoop of vanilla ice cream on top. We should do that one time. Do a little beer dessert. That'd be good, huh? Or simply enjoy it on your own, which is what we're gonna do. Yep. Or nightcap. I hate that phrase when people let's go to the bar and get a nightcap.
That's because we're third shifters.
I didn't like it when I worked on days either. A nightcap.
Why?
Just go. I don't know. It's a stupid phrase. Just go fucking drink a nightcap. I don't know. It means your day's ending well. Don't. I drink to forget. Just kidding.
I wonder if that's being from Wisconsin, when we start drinking at 4 p.m.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't top the night off with a drink. We've.
Yeah, it says it's a perfect winter warmer as well. We're in the heat of summer, but we're gonna give it a shot. It's looks like something is happening. Okay, well, I'll have to see what that happened in post. Computer froze up yet again because I have a piece of shit laptop.
Third man on the show.
Yep, right. Always bringing in the laptop. Our red HP, who is a piece of shit. Like I was saying, it's very dark. It's very black.
It's brisk. This has got a heavy scent.
It does.
And I didn't know that there was coffee in it when I took that first sip, but I could definitely tell before you said anything.
What is that noise?
That was
a bird. Oh man,
was it? It sounded like a train stopping, but the train tracks. Oh yeah, the train tracks are behind me.
Kind of.
That was that long screech. That was a train, man.
That's from like. That's a train. Holy shit!
I think so.
That's pretty far though.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on,
but
someone's got some bad brakes.
Hopefully, yeah, that could be it too. There's a brake shop over there.
Yeah, this is your typical stout, I'd say.
It's pretty.
It's good.
It's
looks like oil.
Yeah, definitely. It has a burnt coffee look.
Mm-hmm.
You ever get the last cup in the pot?
Yeah,
and it's overly black.
Oh yeah. Not bad, though. Not bad. 10% will get you loose real quick. Loosey-goosey. The last one I had last week was 10%.
You can really taste like that coffee taste, or and it's chocolate, too, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I think you can taste everything that's in there, even the 10% alcohol.
Yeah, it's good. It's not bad. I like the stout, so... yeah, man, so... I don't know. What's going on? You want to do a question episode? How do you want to do this? How can we formulate these episodes? How can I get more people to listen? I don't even know. I'm not really putting a lot of work into the podcast lately, and I apologize. I want to do more cross promotions and things like that, but I gotta say I'm burnt out.
Yeah, that'll happen. It's all. I think the last time we talked, you were doing a landscaping job.
Still am.
Working at our place of work.
Still there.
And I know how they run the supervisors, though you don't have to do much while you're there, as far as I can tell. But you're still there a lot. And then
I'm just I'm not gonna say anything. But
do you tell people at work about the podcast?
I got a couple people know about it, but no, not really.
Yeah, you like to keep it separate.
I would like to. Yes, not that I talk smack about work, but since I am like people's boss, I don't want them, like, I don't know, I just try to keep my work life kind of separate, you know, like I'll talk about my wife, I'll talk about my kids, kind of what I've done on the weekends and things like that, but I don't really openly promote the podcast just because, you know, if I say something goofy or I say something that they don't agree with, I don't want it to reflect how they view me and how they respect me and things like that. Even though I'm pretty open and I'd like to say I'm pretty good with the people that work there. I have a good rapport with them, and I've dealt with quite a few supervisors, and I mean, though you're not my supervisor, I would say that you don't seem like you come across like a lot of them. I'll say whatever because I don't care. A lot of the supervisors there are assholes. I'm lucky enough to have a good one now, and I've had a few good ones that. But no, yeah, I could see you not telling the salary type people because, like, I mean, they'll criticize, they'll fire you for something you put on Facebook. Let alone if some of them know, if one of your guests come on and say, yeah, some of them know about it, but they don't listen to it. They don't really care, which is fine, and I kind of like it that way. But I'd like to get more involved. I've had so many ideas of things I want to do. Maybe like at a brew festival sometime. Maybe set up a booth and do live podcasting or something like that.
Well, that's what I was like. I think we were talking about a couple things because there's, being that it's tied to the beers, like, and where we live. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of stuff that you could do, but it's, you know, I mean, even when they do the art walk, you know, go down and set up at a bar and outside of a bar or something, and just do like because you can pause your recording on that laptop, right? Yep. So like, just have, when people come by, just
sit down and talk to them.
Just grab them and if they're on it, they'll listen to it and they'll tell their friends about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I just, like I said, once things start dying down a little bit and I pay some bills and do some stuff, I'll look into that. But I mean, I got something that happened over the weekend just was even a bigger motivation for me to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Situation upstairs, person ringing my doorbell all night, not all night, but for a long time, just ringing my doorbell constantly.
On the weekend?
Yes.
Oh, lame.
Because
the only night you get to sleep.
Because the person, well, they didn't want this person in. So he rang my doorbell. Oh. So I would let him in.
You know, the other day last week, I had a couple people show up like unannounced at my apartment. That there are people, somebody from my family. Actually, both of them are from my family, but both of them were getting away from something that in their own lives, and they needed a place to duck out and hide out for a bit or whatever. And my aunt came over, and she's like, "Yeah, there's this kid that stays with the guy upstairs, but he wants the kid to pay more rent, but the guy's not paying rent anyway. He's about to get evicted. So either way, she's like, I'm just going to hang out here if that's all right, because he keeps coming to my house. And, I made the mistake of letting him sleep there once. And now he thinks that he can just pay me and sleep there. And I don't want that. And it's like,
it's not an Airbnb or something.
Yeah, it's like
that.
That's the problem with with living with people above you and below you and whatever.
I try to be as courteous as I possibly can. And then, like, nowadays, sometimes I get a little loud, like if I'm listening to some tunes, maybe every once in a while. Not very often, but I don't know. I got to get out of here. That's my number one goal in life. I'm looking to sell a kidney or maybe a part of my liver. Whatever you need, let me know. We'll
you could maybe use this podcast to sell a kidney, but not a liver.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that's it's a good one.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, you get that.
I do like it.
Because we're drinking.
So,
if for anybody that went over your head, I'm going to explain it.
8:50 in the a.m. But yeah, how's your apartment going, by the way? Any action?
No, nothing's been going on. I've been sleeping in the living room, so I don't know if the bedroom was where a lot of that stuff happened, and
okay,
that in the bathroom, and honestly, I just don't pay attention
Haunted
anymore.
Shits.
Yeah, shits and showers. Those ghosts, I don't like it.
That'll clear a room out really quick.
But yeah, no, nothing's been happening like that. But they're finally cleaning out that front apartment that was like, I don't know, it smelled real bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the worst. When I lived, in an apartment complex, and you walk in and it just smells like trash, and you just hope you're not the source.
Yeah.
And sometimes I was. I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes you throw away like a piece of chicken, and you forget to take the bag out. You go to work, you come back, and then all of a sudden it just fucking reeks.
Leave the air conditioner off for a night.
Yeah, I've been. I've done that. I'm guilty.
Yeah.
But
I don't think I've ever been the guy cooking the weird food or anything like that, though.
One time, my mom cooked some fish, and I don't know what happened, but the whole place smelled like fish. Like, it was bad.
Yeah.
And so the next day at school, I leave, and I put on clean clothes. I leave, and in the classroom, the first classroom I'm in, just smells like fish.
Oh.
And your brother Ryan was in the classroom with me, and everyone thought it was him.
Oh, that sucks for him, because I was actually thinking he started doing laundry long before any of the other brothers, because he didn't want to smell like cigarettes.
Okay.
And my mom would smoke cigarettes when she did the laundry.
Yeah.
So he was really, that's crazy. That sucks that happened to him, because he was already so conscious of it.
And so he's just like, oh yeah, I guess, I don't know what's going on or whatever. But then it was like everywhere I went, the smell was, and I was like, fuck, it's me.
Did you ever tell him that?
I think we did figure it out. And then I ended up putting the sweatshirt I was wearing into my locker, and then my whole locker smelled like it. And it was just awful. I was like, how the fuck does it smell like this so badly? And I get home and I open all the windows. I'm running fans. I'm trying to get this stink out of there, because it's fucking embarrassing. I was in I think I was in 8th grade.
Oh yeah.
And it's just embarrassing. At that stage, you're really still finding yourself, figuring out your personality, who you are. You want to be. You
can be the kid who smells like fish.
Yeah.
It only takes one day of smelling like fish to be the kid who smells like fish for the rest of your junior high career or whatever.
Yeah. There's a joke that, and I don't really know all the whole thing, but it goes a dad and a son go fishing, and they're talking, and
what are they saying?
The guy says, I forget what was it? The guy says something along the lines of you do this thing and nobody calls you anything and they call you by your name. You do this thing and they call you by your name or something. But you fuck one pig or something like that, you know.
Yeah, okay.
It's something like that. It's very poorly presented. But that's like what you're saying.
If anybody saw Drew tell that joke, they would be laughing.
Right. It's all in the facial expressions.
It's just not a good podcast joke.
Right. But yeah, like, so it takes the one time and you're the fucking dude that smells like fish.
Yeah.
And luckily that it didn't stick, but I don't know. I think there was a couple times in school where things did not go well for me, and I was drastically worried about what my reputation was going to be.
I think I worried more than I needed to about that kind of stuff. Like, and we had some people. There's always people in every class or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we had the class of the kid shit on the gym floor. So like,
I never heard about that. In high school.
Yeah, and like, unfortunately, and that's one of the things that I always felt, because I pointed out that he did it. Like, the guy, he pooped and then he kicked it under the bleachers, and like, I was like, what do you do in that situation? You point and yell, like, just shit on the floor, whatever. Like, he had
you don't, in that situation, you don't not say something, right?
Yeah. You can't help it. It comes out of your mouth before you can even think, what am I doing to this poor person's life in this town? Like, not even just their high school career. Anytime anybody from high school sees this person.
At the 10-year reunion, a person that you like, that looks vaguely familiar, comes up to you and it's like, hey, remember when I shit on the floor or something?
Yeah,
like,
right.
They're just like,
I feel like they might say that right before they off you. But or more like, what? Oh, I can't remember who are you? That's right, you're the guy that shit on the floor.
Yeah. It just lives with you forever.
Yeah, and this guy had a rough run of it at high school. He had a few things happen, and a few things I think were rumors that kind of. Yeah. Once you shit on the floor, anything is believable. So,
I mean, when you're in that situation, that's just not something that happens every day. So when it happens, you're just like, bro, you just shit on the floor? You know, like.
And it was not that courteous what I did. Like, I pointed and yelled, and the whole gym heard, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. And I feel bad about it to this day, but I don't shy away from the fact that that was me that did that to that guy.
By the time you realize the damage that you've just done,
yeah,
it's over.
Yep. Oh. There's nothing you can do.
I shouldn't laugh, but it's funny.
Yeah. I've seen him since, and he's living a fine life. He's probably more well-adjusted than I am. So
that's good.
He was another person that, like, I went to his house at one point. And
I don't be awkward.
And I don't even remember why. And I think this is before that, maybe.
Okay.
I wasn't going there because we were friends.
You shit on the floor there too.
Yeah. Well, he had a house that you had to, like, because he was the smelly kid.
Oh.
And his house smelled pork.
That sucks.
And so it's like, I understood why Ryan was that way. I don't know why I never picked up on the fact that I smelled like cigarettes, but I know I did.
It happens. People's parents smoke, And
yeah. Yep.
It is what it is. I totally get that. I don't know if I ever really called out anybody in weird circumstances in high school, but I remember, like, one time, and it was my freshman year. It was really, like, I don't know. When I look back at myself, I was really kind of an awkward kid for a while. And then maybe, like, I kind of grew into my skin a little bit, closer towards maybe like sophomore, more junior, senior year of high school.
Yeah.
Like, I was ninth grade. I still came to school. I was wearing, like, the athletic pants, like the windbreaker pants and shit.
Whoa,
like,
what's wrong with that?
They're comfortable now.
I still wear those pants.
Yeah, but and everybody's wearing, like, polos. They're going to fucking American Eagle. They're going to all these places and they're dressing up. You know what I mean? They look presentable, quote unquote, I guess. And I was wearing like the same, like, 5 or 6 T-shirts every week.
I feel like things changed a little bit between when I went and when you guys went.
Probably.
In terms of,
what year did you graduate?
I graduated the year before you guys went into freshman year.
Okay.
So like I left as you came in.
Yeah.
But like knowing Ryan and his, because Ryan kind of dressed with the style. And,
he did.
and all that. Like, and I never understood that. And but there was a group of people that were like that in my class as well. There always is. But I like looking back on high school. Because I wasn't involved in any sports, I wasn't really involved in any one group or whatever, until it was like an outcast group of people that were like hippies or whatever.
Sure.
Which I didn't like do the same things they did, but they were just as closest to my mentality, I guess. But like there were people that knew my name that were like jocks and stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh, Rob," and I'd be like, "Fucking don't fucking say my name." Like,
right.
I thought they were mocking me, but then it took me like 10 years after high school to be like, maybe they weren't mocking me, maybe I'm the asshole. Like maybe my perception of the events of high school are the like people being like, "Hey Rob, what's up?" and me being like, "Fuck you." Like, and it probably wasn't that way.
You're
but
always so grumpy, Rob. I don't know what happened.
But it totally could have been that way. And it's all about, so that once you start looking at things that way, it's like, oh, maybe I should change my perception a little bit.
Well, it was freshman year, and like I was still I kind of like started to go to those stores. Like there's a place called like Air Apostle. I don't even know if it's around anymore, but I just went there because that's kind of where my friend shopped. Yeah, and I kind of wanted to, I guess, fit in a sense, and I don't know, but. Like,
everybody needs a T-shirt that looks like it has the logo spray painted on it.
Right, exactly. But girls kind of started to notice me a little bit. I was like getting taller. I was a chubby kid, and I was definitely thinning out.
Oh, I remember when you got bigger.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was noticeable.
What do you mean?
You were You got pretty attractive once you got taller.
Oh, I
noticed.
Thank you. Okay, I thought you were talking about when like my recent weight gain from the past years.
Bigger can mean two things, Drew.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, like there was this one girl in my science class, and we were just talking or whatever, and she must have taken a liking to me or whatever, and I found out she lived by me, so she invited me over one time. I go over there. We just started making out, like freshmen do. And I'm a freshman. I'm like, what's going on?
Like freshmen do. That is not something that happened to me as a freshman.
And I was just like, holy, like in my mind, I'm just like, it's fucking awesome. But apparently she liked some other dude, and
this sounds like freshman stuff.
I was a young kid. I called my friends afterwards. I'm like, dudes, like this totally just went down. Like I was macking hardcore with this lady downstairs in her basement, and that's all it was. And of course, they were also loudmouths too. And then we were in the hall, and there were a group of people, and she was there, and she was like in an argument with a guy because he had heard about it, and I guess they were, I don't know what was going on.
Some kind of an
but she just looked at me. And the guy looks at me and goes, did that happen? And she looks at me and just shakes her head no. Like,
so you have to step up and go, no, I made it up. Bullshit. She fucked up.
Yeah. And I was just like I didn't know what to say, because I was like, again, an awkward kid. I didn't know how to handle the situation.
Yeah.
And had I been a little older, I would have been like, hell yeah,
get that bitch on a leash.
No, I wouldn't say that.
No,
but
neither
but
would
I just didn't know how to react, and it was just so. And that was at like the first few months only of school.
I'm gonna take this. I'm sorry to all the females that are out there in the listening group. I didn't mean that.
It's a joke, but. So then
it's PC culture, man. You got to explain everything.
Right. So then I went. I had to go the whole rest of the year with her, and seeing her every day. And then these people looking at me like, that's a fucker that makes things up about people. Watch out.
Yeah, right. Like, that's not something you want.
Ryan and everybody, they knew.
Yeah,
they knew I wouldn't lie about that. And I was just damn, that sucks.
If these were fully formed adults, they would know
right
what was going on.
It was innocent.
Too.
It was
and it's like even he probably would have known based on your facial expression when he said, "Did this really happen?" And even if you go, "Oh no," he would have been like, I can see the guy's covering for you. What, like,
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah. I mean, it wasn't. After a while, it fizzled out. But then the funniest thing, and I bring this up because like recently, I just kind of stumbled upon some old high school yearbooks in the basement, in boxes, and you kind of just open them up and see what people wrote. There's a million. Have a great summer. Give me a call. You never called. I've always thought about calling those numbers now. Like, hey, in 2006, you said let's kick it sometime in the summer. Well, I finally got time. You're looking to hang?
Been real busy.
Yeah, I've been really busy for a while. But I saw, and she had signed it at the end of the year. And it said like, oh, you're so funny or whatever. Sorry about what happened earlier this year. She fucking wrote that in my yearbook.
I thought you were going to say like, P.S. It happened. Don't worry. Like,
that would have been even better. I was just like, oh, dude, that is horrible.
That's a great story for a 15-year reunion, though.
Yeah, but my 10-year reunion is next year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's a Facebook group. So I graduated with well over 600 people. There's a Facebook group that has like 300 some. And I just kind of went through the list and I'm like, who the fuck are these people? And I don't know if I want to go. I heard the year before us, the 10 year for this year, 2018, so the class of 2008 went really bad.
It did.
Yeah. It was like 20 people showed up.
I heard some things about it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't know.
Well, was that the 2018 one? Okay, so I'm thinking of the 2017 one.
Okay, yeah.
Because that was Jenny's.
Okay.
And she was like, they were trying to get her. And honestly, I don't know. It could have all been lies now that I think about it. But apparently there was some money issues because they didn't save money from their 5-year or something. I don't know. I'm not on the committee.
We didn't even have a 5-year.
I don't know how that all works. There's supposed to be like whoever is your valedictorian and
president, the class president's supposed to
is
do
it?
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't freaking know.
Why would you even want that responsibility? Like, so you have to, you take it your senior year knowing I want to be elected class president so I can plan 10 years from now. I have to plan a reunion.
Lord forbid you move to India or something,
Yeah.
Like,
fuck that.
Yeah, that I would have had no interest, and that's before knowing that they had to do that. But and all I do is sit on my ass here in Fond du Lac, but I still don't want to do it.
You just have other things going on. In 10 years from now, like you don't know where you're gonna be. You don't know what's going on, and
you could argue.
Quite frankly, I don't give a shit about half those people.
And that's another thing where if they were fully formed adult minds, they would think about it like, okay, 10 years from now, if I even want to go to this, I'm going to be in a situation where I'm successful and won't have time to plan it. So,
yeah.
Like,
but now you have an obligation.
Yeah.
Even though
so it's like if you can do it, you probably don't want to go to it.
Right.
And if you want to go to it, you definitely don't have time to plan it.
Yeah, exactly. And I just don't want to see a lot of these people. Even people that hung out with my friends that I didn't necessarily care for. They were just, whenever there was a big group, there's always a select few that were there. They were a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
They weren't in like the close friend group, but they were a friend of a friend, or I was the friend of the friend at the gathering. But I just don't want to see them. The people that I wouldn't mind seeing a couple people that I just kind of lost touch with, that we used to be good friends. We didn't end on a bad note. We just,
you probably will someday, with Facebook and stuff. You don't need to go and sit in a room with 600 other people to reconnect with.
And I don't want to. I'd rather would just create like a different group and reach out to like the 20 people and be like, hey, let's not go to this. Let's all this like smaller group. Let's go find somewhere to go and do that.
With big classes like that, like it really doesn't make sense to me. Like when you see on TV, like they're doing
I wish they were like on TV.
Yeah,
I wish there was a big gymnasium with a band playing and there's beer flowing.
And
that's not what's going on.
And like 40 people, 40 to 100 people in your class only, that you can be like, hey, actually I can mingle and get to see where I knew all these people somewhat. And I can see where they ended up, and then whereas with 600 people, it's like it literally like because
The odds of you knowing every single person is impossible.
The odds of you seeing this small group of people that you do know, they could be there and you could just walk by them, because 600 people is a lot of people.
Yeah.
And not that 600 people are ever going to show up, but like at mine, I did make an appearance there just because I forget who I was with. I was with somebody that wanted to go there, and we were like, we went to the bar, and then it was at a bar. At the backstage bar or whatever. So it's a bigger bar with a venue for a band. And I walked in there and it was like there's the whole front area was filled with people that I'd never seen before. A couple people that I knew because I steered clear of them in high school.
Right.
And I wasn't going to go by them now.
Yeah.
And then I went to like the back room where there were like 3 people that I knew from 8th grade, like before I even went to high school. And I like talked to them for like a minute and then left, and it was like, well, that was a waste of coming down to the side of town even. But
yeah, I
don't talk to those people now that I ran into them at the reunion. Like, we didn't just magically become friends because of it.
And there's plenty of like events that happen in town, like closer to the holidays, that bring people to the same area.
Yeah.
And
Thanksgiving for sure.
The day before Thanksgiving is a huge time to just randomly bump. That's like a class reunion itself, and it's not even planned.
Yeah.
You're just bumping into these people. And that's usually kind of the time that I'll talk to those people and kind of reconnect. But it's weird to me, like it's weird the power of like your adolescence, the power of the people you interact with when you're in high school, maybe middle school, how that like carries with you.
I think the reunion was the idea of some successful person to make that carry with you. Like they were like, I want this thing. I didn't have anxiety in high school, and the people that did, I want them to carry it with them forever. So we're gonna do a reunion every 5 years.
I kind of get it.
In case you weren't worried about your life enough 5, 10, 15, 20 years out from high school, now you can really worry about it because
like I like to just say all it is just like whose life is better than the next person. Like my life is better than yours or something like that. It's just all a comparison, and
I'm sure there's
really
people
that.
I'm sure that there's people that go there and they are like, I went to this college and now I do this, and it's not necessarily competitive or whatever. But
I mean that's kind of like a reunion is kind of like what Facebook is in a nutshell. Facebook essentially is just a highlight reel.
With Facebook, there is no need for...
And that's why you don't need reunions. And honestly, I don't think I'm going to go. I don't see the point in going. I don't want to go. I just want to steer clear of it.
You could easily run into somebody who's like, oh my God, I saw you had 2 kids and you're married and you blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And you're like, how the fuck did you... Facebook, we're friends on Facebook. Don't you look at my Facebook?
Yeah, I've been really trying to wean myself off of social media lately. I post pictures of the stuff that I do with my kids just because, I like my kids, and some people don't like that. Some people get annoyed that of all the pictures I post of my kids. And it's like,
so
well,
unfriend me. Fuck you.
Yeah, so it's like, I love my kids and I like these pictures. I share them so my grandma can see them, so my mom can see them.
If you and honestly, for the future, it'll always be there.
What happens? Yeah, what happens if something happens to me? I got a platform where my kids can go back and look at things, which is pretty cool. I don't necessarily try to brag about things. I hate like all just how perfect everybody's life is. You know what I mean? Like
and that's a farce. Like there's studies about that like some people build themselves up with Facebook, and then there's some people that literally like drive themselves deep into depression with Facebook
I could get that.
because they look at all the people that they're friends with and go, oh, I'm not out on the boat riding around. I'm not rock climbing, or I'm not going on trips. And it's like these are glimpses into people's lives where they saved up to go do this thing. Like, And instead of going and doing that, you're looking at it on Facebook. It's like, get off Facebook and go to the yacht club and see if you can learn how to sail. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's true.
I'm
definitely guilty of that, of getting jealous about what other people are doing. I know, like nowadays, like a lot of people are buying houses.
Yeah.
Fucking like, and I'm happy for a lot of them because they're my friends, and I'm just like, but I'm so jealous.
That's because you want a house, though. It's not. I feel like it's probably not like like you're getting a house. It's like, no, I want a house. So therefore, I'm If you didn't want a house, it probably wouldn't bother you at all. Like me, I'm not looking to get a house, and I have this. Everybody I know has families and whatever. That's older than me or my age, and it's like it does. That's just not where I'm at. So I don't. It doesn't bother me. If I wanted that stuff, then I would probably be like, why don't I have this stuff or whatever?
Yeah, that's true. Why don't I have more listeners? What can I do to spice it up? Let me know.
Well, I don't know if it's spicing up. It's getting people to click on it the first time.
Well, I mean, the show has changed, I think, in a lot. It's changed in a sense, I guess, when some things that I don't do. And I don't know, like, people, if they go to the first episode and they don't like it, like, you don't need to listen to the first one to listen to this one. Everyone's different. I don't know how you do it, but I really feel like with the experiences that I've had with podcasts, it's I'll listen to if it's a show where it's not like a story, it's not a continuation of the last, I'll listen to the newest one, and if I really like it, sometimes I'll go to the first one.
Oh, I always go back.
Do you?
The first one. It depends, because like the thing is with like quote unquote super successful podcasts, they're normally headed up by somebody with a big name,
right?
Or they're getting big name people, or they're doing something that requires a ton of time in terms of research and in terms of like
should research things,
and that's I've thought about doing even like Wisconsin history or something like that.
Yeah,
that's not going to get.
I think there's a podcast that does that.
I'm sure that there is. I know that there's a Midwestern history one or whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah, you could do it. You could do it your own.
But I personally, I don't want to do that research, so I don't. But it's like, I'm interested in it, but I'm not like I don't even know where to begin with that kind of stuff. Either. But it's like anytime you have something that is like, hey, this is something people want to know, that will make them click on it, and that's what the beer, the beer review.
Yeah.
So maybe focus on doing
more beer. I mean, beer's like
not more beer, but maybe like a more in-depth review of the beers.
Yeah, I suppose. I have to research a little bit more about different beers, why you put them in different glasses. Well, I know, like, you put it because I don't know. Actually, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, don't lie to your listeners.
I just drink it. Well, I want to talk to like some more like people. I want to do like more microbrew episodes and talk to different people. I want to talk to an exorcist. How do I land one of those? Reach out to a church?
Yeah. That's a tough one. Well, I mean, there's exorcists, and then there's like holistic type mediums.
I want
to
talk to somebody in prison too, like somebody that killed somebody.
Well, that I know. I could set that up for you.
Huh?
Yeah.
Obviously, we wouldn't drink beer.
Yeah, no.
But you can set that up?
Yeah.
You know someone that's killed someone?
Yeah. They're in prison. You'd have to go to prison.
Can you record those conversations, though?
I think people do it. I mean, there's shows where people go into prison.
That's true.
And like, so if you have some kind of a budget,
a field recorder,
something,
I can get one of those. Huh? That'd be wild.
I mean, obviously, I don't know like the warden of some prison. I know the guy that's in prison. Yeah. So I can only go as far as to say, hey, will you do this? But you'd have to.
I could do it over the phone, maybe.
You'd have to talk to the prison. Yeah, you could definitely do it over the phone. That might cost you a little bit, but it might be worth it.
Cost money to do that?
Well, they call collect, or they're not going to pay for it. The guy in prison's not.
Just sell them a roll of quarters.
I don't think they're allowed to have. I'm basing this all off
Shawshank Redemption.
No, so, your basic hardcore prison shows.
Yeah,
but I don't even I'd have to track down where he's at right now.
There's I think I know a couple of people that are in jail. I don't know them, but I know of them. It's weird. Like, that's another thing. Like, over the years, like, I stumble upon these news stories where it's it's just a story that all these people share because it's somebody about a horrific crime that they committed or something that they've done, and you're just like, I used to hang out with that guy in high school.
Yeah, yep.
And now he's dude killed somebody or dude did this.
People write books about, like, oh, I hung out with this guy, and this guy's a known murderer.
Could you imagine hanging out with Jeffrey Dahmer?
No.
That'd be interesting.
It would be interesting to, like, I think...
how dare they not cast the real Jeffrey Dahmer in that Jeffrey Dahmer movie? It's a poor representation. Or why not really cast a serial killer?
Budgeting, legal rights, ramifications.
Right. There's so much.
Screen Actors Guild. I think it's the Screen Actors Guild.
I'm just making fun of it because there's all this stuff now with people are getting pissed at the whole Scarlett Johansson thing.
What's that?
She was gonna play a transgender male in a movie, and now she's not because she received so much backlash.
That's right. Yeah.
And now somebody came forward and said that you shouldn't watch the movie Skyscraper because it's about like a disabled person, like a paraplegic or something like that.
It's PC,
but because The Rock isn't paraplegic or disabled,
there was a whole and
shouldn't watch.
There was another one where
it's a movie.
It was a Hispanic, and the character of Abed on Community was supposed to be like
never watched Community.
It's a great show, but he was supposed to be like a specific Middle Eastern whatever, and they ended up going with like Indian Pakistani instead of Pakistani.
Oh sure.
Saudi, like whatever. I don't know exactly what they were going to do, but it turned out great. Yeah. But if people would have known that, like, oh, this is what he was supposed to be, is it from this region, and now, I mean, that was 10, 15 years ago, but like,
yeah,
now it would be like, let's boycott this great show because of this thing that shouldn't matter. That's what actors do. They act like other people. That's what we've paid them to, like, that's what they've done forever.
Mm-hmm. In the new Spider-Man movie, MJ, her name is Michelle, not Mary Jane.
And I'm pretty sure the lead actor can't shoot webs out of his hands.
He's not a real spider.
I mean, so...
Well, in the movie,
so
Peter Parker does not shoot it out of his hands. He has a device, like in the comics.
Gotcha. Well, then, sorry, people.
How dare you?
I'm still going off the Sam Raimi or Raimi Spider-Man.
The Tobey Maguire days?
Yeah. Not the third one. Fuck that one.
Topher Grace as Venom.
Yeah.
The new Spider-Man, Tom Holland, I think that's his name. Really good.
But does that mean we have to give the new, like, the Bruce Wayne roles to billionaires?
No.
Fuck that. They shouldn't. Yeah. Billionaires don't need acting jobs.
Right. I don't know. I just think it's interesting, the world we live in, and I do try to be as PC as possible because I don't want to make people mad. I just I'll go with the flow, but I'll watch a movie if it looks good. If I think it looks dumb, I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I mean, I'll watch something just to, like, and honestly, if the logic doesn't line up, then I'm not gonna watch it anymore, or it's gonna be considered bad in my opinion. But it has nothing to do with, oh my god, that person's skin tone isn't the right. Well, it's a couple hues off.
Look at Beauty and the Beast.
Or
that movie is about a woman who is imprisoned by a man and falls in love with her abuser. Stockholm syndrome at its finest. Right there. Quality story or classic case, I guess. I've never experienced it. I don't know. But it's
and there's plenty of tales in that part of the world of people with castles in imprisoning young women, and they weren't dancing and eating dinner together. I can guarantee you that.
Over the years, I've really developed a hatred for older Disney movies. Not because of the story, they're just dumb. They suck.
I don't know which ones you're referring to.
I don't like Beauty and the Beast anymore. It's annoying as shit.
I guess I never...
It's just an annoying...
I mean, give me Lion King, give me Aladdin.
I don't like Lion King.
What's wrong with Lion King?
I don't know. It's just so damn corny. Circle of Life. Oh, Simba, you watched Jafar die. Like...
This is something
I don't know.
Yeah, but kids need to learn that stuff.
I guess.
Adults need to learn that stuff.
I don't know. They all... And it's like they repeat the same fucking phrase over and over. Belle doesn't want to live a provincial life. I don't care. Nobody does.
Well, that's that new crap one.
And then
I'm pretty sure it doesn't say provincial.
Provincial? Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely it does.
Okay,
there
like
must
I
be more
said,
than this provincial life. She says it like 80 times in the movie.
In the cartoon?
Yeah, in the musical.
Okay, well, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the Beauty and the Beast.
I was
never
in the
have been.
musical in high school.
Well, then you're the guy to talk to about it, I guess.
What'd
you play?
I was a corkscrew, enchanted object.
I don't recall there being a corkscrew in the movie.
I was one of the kitchen pieces.
So you got to sing a song.
I was also a townsperson. I was in the chorus, so yeah, I sang a lot of the songs. But it was a good time. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't like The Lion King. I don't know.
So how do you feel about Mulan? I don't like your reaction already.
I don't like it.
Mulan is great. Eddie Murphy is talking dragon.
You're right. I don't know, man. It's okay.
What about Brink?
Brink is awesome.
Brink is great. All right, Johnny Tsunami.
That's good.
All right.
Like
we're on the
Disney
right
original movies,
yeah.
The Disney Channel flicks.
I like the Disney Channel flicks.
I don't like Snow White. It's annoying.
I never got behind Snow White really, and honestly, Snow White, that one really gets into some shady areas of the Disney culture, and
yeah.
I mean, Walt Disney was a pretty well-known like Nazi sympathizer or something. If he wasn't, I'm spreading the rumor now. He was.
That's what I hear a lot about it. Yeah, I mean, but he's had tons of movies made about him recently. They kind of glaze over the white supremacist side of him.
Yeah, well, because we need to have actual paraplegics playing paraplegics, but we can't talk about Walt Disney being a Nazi. What's wrong with this country?
That's true. I don't know. What are some other classic Disney movies that I don't really like?
I mean, Sleeping Beauty has always been boring. Super boring to me.
Yeah, I haven't really watched that one. I mean, I like Toy Story a lot. Toy Story's good. Wreck-It Ralph is a badass flick.
Once you get into the Pixar days,
those are awesome.
Those are good movies. They hold up. But
it gets dark in Toy Story 3.
I haven't seen Toy Story 3.
So I'm going to break kind of an end part for you because I feel it's been long enough for you to have the opportunity to watch it. I'm going to spoil it for you.
Okay.
There's a part where the main ones are in like a dumpster, like a garbage line, and they're about to fall into an incinerator.
Okay.
And they're looking at their death. They're about to get melted. And they all just look at each other and they hold hands because they're like, we're about to fucking die.
Those are great moments in movies.
It hits you in the feels.
Yeah.
And then of course somebody stops it.
Yeah.
But man, they just accept it. They're like,
there's a moment.
We came all this way. Now we're gonna die.
In Aviator, which is like one of my favorite movies.
Doesn't he die at the end? He crashes at the end.
Yeah, but he doesn't die at the end. It doesn't even go into the horrible part of his life in that movie. But there's a part where he's crashing and he's about to, like, it's his second plane crash, but it's a big one. It's like he's going down and he's like, he's headed down. The gauges are smoking. And he goes into the radio, "I'm not going to make it, buddy." That's the last thing he thinks he's going to say in life, And I don't know if that's true, like Howard Hughes actually yelled that. I hope to
Is that
God,
true story?
I hope to God that's what Howard Hughes actually said in that moment. Because it did actually happen that he crashed that plane.
Yeah.
And that's like where they say he like concussed his head enough where that might have like pushed his OCD into the real bad, like.
Oh, really?
He was already had issues, but that like, he pulverized his bones and really that's what messed up his head a lot. But I don't know, that one scene, like just the idea of like this is the last thing, like what are you gonna do? Because I remember there was one time when I was a kid that me and a few friends of mine that weren't the greatest friends, like these are people that I hung out with to skateboard, and I didn't like really hang out with them other than that. Yeah. But we were cruising around and we were maybe smoking and cigarette stuff and
sure.
This is ridiculous. I'm sorry. And we came to a four-way stop sign. And we were on, perpendicular to us was another car, and we both started, like, I feel like maybe it was a two-way stop sign, and we started to go, and that car came through. But like, because I was so high, I thought we were gonna slam into this car, and and I seriously like let out this like, oh, like deep like. It was like, and I got made fun of quite heavily for it, but I really thought we were gonna die, but we were nowhere near this. It was like the equivalent of we went like a foot. We went like a foot and stopped. And I like screamed out like I was gonna die. It was God. I will never forget that moment.
The person's like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah, they were like, "What the fuck are you yelling about?"
Oh God, that's really funny. That's a good story.
But yeah, so I definitely appreciate the moments where people think that they're good,
buddy. You just stop. Oh, I guess we're fine.
Nothing happened.
There's another part in the first Toy Story that because Buzz thinks he's a real toy.
Yep.
And then he sees like the commercial.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he's just like, I'm not the person I thought I was. And then he flies up, he falls.
Yep.
And his arms hanging out, and I'm just like, I think that comes to a point in everybody's life where they really look at themselves, they see their true reflection, they see that commercial of how they're represented or what they really are, and you're like, maybe I'm really not the person that I thought I was.
Yeah, I more almost see it as that's the point where you realize you're not gonna do the things that you plan on doing, or it's not, at least it's. And I mean, the moral of that movie being that you just need to believe it and try. But there is always a point where it's like, okay, maybe you're
gonna fail.
Maybe yeah, and that's the hero's journey. I mean, it's like the hero has to fail and then rise. Yeah, and
it's called The Dark Knight Rises.
He has his meeting, his meeting with the goddess moment of you have to get up and try and so go find the things you need to succeed.
I'm still trying to figure out what I want in life.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Well, you want a house.
But what about after?
Well, that's
I could die.
I mean, you just get a house and get inside. And
fuck it, I'm done. See you later.
I have a place to kill myself now.
Yeah, exactly. I've had, dude, I don't know. I've had so many like dreams, ambitions, and I feel like I've worked hard to try to achieve some of them. Maybe not hard enough. Maybe I just got to go harder to make it happen.
I mean, even doing something like this, because you wanted to be on the radio. Mm-hmm. You got on the radio. Mm-hmm. You realized it was not what you thought it was going to be.
Well, in some aspects, like in smaller market, right? It's not what I thought it would be. You found a medium that was a little bit more attuned to what you wanted to do. I assume you like doing podcasts because you're doing because there's plenty of podcasts that start up even with famous people, and they go for a few months and then they just don't do it anymore. Because obviously they just didn't have the fact that you've got over 50 episodes and says something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm over almost at a year.
Yeah, I mean that's so to put a year into something that you don't necessarily make money on, that you don't necessarily, that you like, and that's that to me is what people are, we're all looking for. So here's the thing that we can put ourselves in, that I'm gonna do this even though it doesn't really benefit me or I care about it enough to work at it, even though I'm not getting paid, even though it's not. It's just to bring me joy and bring other people joy. Here
are the shows on my iTunes library. So we'll kind of see the trend here. So I listen to Anna Faris's Unqualified.
Okay.
Good podcast. She's got good guests. Anxious and Angry, which is Ryan Young from Off Their Heads, a really good band from Minneapolis. He interviews a lot of like musicians and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Does like answers people's emails, gives advice, things like that. Armchair Expert with Dak Shepard.
Okay.
Famous person.
Yeah, I just that one's
really good.
It's on my recommended list.
The BSP, the Idiosyncrasy Files, which I've done a microbrew episode with them. You should listen to that one. They're in Indie Pod. They're really good. I like it. The Burt Cast, Burt Kreischer.
I don't know who that is.
What? You know who Burt Kreischer is?
Not by name.
He's a stand-up comedian, and you need to listen to him.
All right, I'll look up Burt Kreischer.
The first thing you're going to find out, the first thing you're going to see is The Machine.
Okay, I know about that. Yep, okay. I have. Okay.
So he's got a good podcast. Again, interviews
Yep.
famous people. Bunny Ears, which is Macaulay Culkin's podcast.
Yeah, interesting. I didn't know he had one.
Yep, it's good. He does one with Matt Cohen, and Macaulay Culkin's in it.
Yeah.
People are going to listen. Comedy Bang Bang, which is good.
Yeah.
I subscribe to my own show. It's on there.
Wow, douche.
Yep. Hannibal Buress, Handsome Rambler.
I just started listening to that last night with the John Hamm episode.
Is that a new one?
Yeah, it just came out.
Oh, did it? Okay. So, yeah.
I'm a Hannibal Buress fan. So
I love Hannibal Buress.
When I saw that, I was like, I got to get this one.
He's funny. I Got the Hell Out, which is an indie pod about a person that was in a cult.
Nice.
And she's obviously not in the cult anymore, but it's really good.
Yep.
It's interesting. I was subscribed to the ID10T podcast. We're not going to talk about that. Chris Hardwick.
I just listened to the Harmontown with Chris Hardwick on it again.
Yeah, I don't know. He's going under some stuff right now.
This is before all that. So.
Right. Jane and Silent Bob Get Old.
Okay.
Kevin Smith. Love Kevin Smith. I listened to Lady Bitch Time Indie Pod. Lead Singer Syndrome with Shane Told, who's in a band called Silverstein, which is pretty popular. He interviews lead singers of bands.
Gotcha.
The Monday Morning Podcast with Bill Burr.
That's a good one, but I don't keep up on it. But Bill Burr's hilarious.
I don't listen to it all the time. Radiotherapy. They haven't done a podcast in a while, but I really like them. They're my friend Todd.
Okay,
it's his podcast. It's really good. Real Life Sci-Fi with Wade and Willie, which is they're on Starburn.
Okay. Yep.
And it's really good. Smodcast, another Kevin Smith podcast. Skip and Shannon on Undisputed Sports Podcast with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp.
Okay.
Tell them Steve Dave. They're associated with Smodcast.
Okay.
So they have Kevin Smith tied to it. The Church of What's Happening Now with Joey Diaz. Once again, interviews comedians and stuff like that. The Fighter and the Kid, which is Brian Callen and Brandon Schaub, which they kind of Joe Rogan kind of helped that a little bit.
Gotcha.
I got Joe Rogan Experience, Wiggins Thinks podcast, Things Joe Hates. This past weekend, Mark Maron, Your Mom's House, You Mean Duffy. I mean, out of all those, the point is, out of all those are all really popular. Most of them are like incredibly popular because they're famous.
Yeah. Yep. I really
That's
don't.
What you're competing with.
I don't listen to a lot of those. Many actually, our lists don't sync up. And I actually thought about saying, about kind of bringing that up if we didn't have anything to talk about or whatever. But
yeah.
That's an interesting list. I can't do I did do a lot of interview shows. I listened to a lot of interview shows for a while.
I like them, but
when they get the same guests going, they go on circuits,
repetition.
So I just cut a lot of that
This
out.
past weekend with Theo Von is really good because he does episodes that are just with him, that he just talks, and he just says a lot of funny shit.
Yeah, yep.
And he does one where he interviews people too.
Well, and that's why I listen to Harmontown. It's just a live podcast.
Yeah.
It's hilarious,
Your Mom's House is really funny with Tom Segura and Christina P.
Yeah, and I have started listening to that, but it's one of those I can't hear at work very well.
Okay, and they have a lot of recurring jokes, which I love.
That's how Harmontown is too.
It's just every episode they bring they play the same stuff, but they show it to somebody else, and it's just really fun, and I love it a lot. But
this
is what I need. I need to blow up. Damn it! I need to do something crazy. I need to say something crazy. Get someone super famous.
You could go and do a racial slur thing.
Nope.
No, okay, that's off the table. Now we know where the line is.
Yeah. No.
No, before I started listening to podcasts, I used to go and listen to Opie and Anthony.
Okay.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I started listening to all the Louis C.K. I know Louis C.K.'s poison now, but he was funny once before I found out that he liked to jerk off in front of women.
Well, you say it. I mean, what he did was inappropriate.
He asked. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, buddy.
Isn't that the whole point?
No.
Of PC of human.
You can't just ask and then do it. You gotta get an affirmative yes.
Okay, so you can't say, I'm gonna start jerking off in this room in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3,
No,
2.
That's inappropriate. No, you can't do that.
Let's find out, Drew. 5. I will stand with Louis C.K. Just because he's hilarious, and I don't need to like him as a person. Yeah, don't do that anymore. You shouldn't have done that in the first place. But guess what? Your stand-up's hilarious, and that's why I know your name.
Yeah, you like. Sometimes it's hard though to separate the artist from the art.
True.
In a way,
especially with somebody whose name is their brand or whose personality is their brand. But that's the thing.
Did it with Bill Cosby.
And that's the thing.
He
though.
did horrific shit.
Bill Cosby's brand was
Mr. Huxtable.
I mean, tell me when you listen to Louis C.K.'s stand-up from before it was all about being a dad that you didn't hear it and go, he might jerk off in front of women. Because I bet you go back and listen to that and you go, this guy might jerk off in front of women. His brand was, I jerk off in front of women. You know, like...
You're not wrong. Yeah.
So now you're going to castrate him because that's what he was actually doing? He was being honest with you.
But people didn't know that.
Because he never said he was lying?
Yeah, but people put on... The stand-up comedians, there is a facade.
When I listen to Louis C.K. or Jim Jeffries, I assume they're telling me the truth. Because those stories sound like the truth to me. Now, some really good stand-up person that... I mean, you listen to Doug Stanhope. Do
you like Doug Stanhope?
I do. I like his stand-up.
I don't know how I feel about him.
But these are people that... all stand-up comedians get their material from their real lives.
Usually.
Therefore, for the most part. I mean, Seinfeld kind of didn't. His jokes were written.
Yeah.
They were written observations or whatever. But so even the observations were from real life, but the jokes were written. But storytelling comics get their material from real life. So when you listen to Richard Pryor, George Carlin, all these people, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, these are all real stories, and I believe them when they're telling me jokes. They might be tweaking it a little bit to make it funnier or whatever, but when 90% of your material is, I do drugs and I'm a dirty old man, I believe you do drugs and you're a dirty old man.
Yeah, George Carlin, he's a dirty old man. He did drugs.
Yeah, I mean,
and
that's so it's
comedic genius.
Yeah, and so that's just maybe
people can still listen to Thriller and be happy.
Yeah.
I play Beat It at a wedding, and everyone loves it.
Yeah, and listen to that.
Yeah. You're right. I don't know.
That's all Louis C.K. did, was Beat It.
8 Wired Brewing Company, who we enjoyed a iStout, a New Zealand ale. It's a stout, an imperial stout. Is not bad. I'm happy that I got it. We're going multinational, multi-country here, and it was good. There is a government warning on it. According to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy because of the risk of birth defects, and the consumption of alcoholic beverages impairs your ability to drive a car or operate machinery. It could cause health problems. You can also recycle this bottle in various states for 5 cents, but if you go to Michigan, you get 10.
Yeah, yep. You're pushing your luck because you haven't messed up a word.
I was gonna say, how is it that I can read the Surgeon General warning just fine, and any other time it was a good episode for you. I think I did stumble once,
but you can fix it in post,
maybe.
But no, I liked it. But I sipped it more than you did. I put it
down.
Definitely got a very heavy taste. Like it's not heavy, but what's the word?
It's
Come on, podcast land. What's the word? Tell me.
what's for heavy?
No, not heavy.
Dense?
It's
Thick?
See, that's the thing is I'm not trying to go in that direction.
Oh.
But it's very it's,
Light?
No, I'm not trying to go
I don't know,
heavy or
man.
light. I guess it has a
Let's go try it.
try it. The taste is evident.
Yeah, it's good.
It's not concentrated.
You
but
get what
it's-
you get.
Yeah.
A good nightcap.
I'm not a real beer critique. I just do it.
I'm just the guy that pretends
I just
to be.
play one on a podcast.
Yeah, me too. But when we say drink it or dump it, I say we drink it after a nice cigar and after a hard day's work of investing and things like that into my
and
portfolio.
I put mine in my ice cream.
Yeah, put ice cream in your beer. Delicious. Drink it if you can find it.
Drink it, scoop it, whatever.
Smoke ingest it, consume it.
Shoot it.
If you like the podcast, hit me up on Twitter
Tell your friends.
at Dudes on a Porch. Tell me how to improve the show. You can tell me, a real listener who's listened to more than one episode, who's listened to more than 3 minutes of one episode one time. I want your advice. I want a person that's listened to various episodes. Tell me what you want to hear, and I will do my best to do that for you.
And remember, conundrums. You need questionable conundrums.
Yep.
And tell your friends.
Okay. Rob, thank you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Bye. We need a proper sign-off. What's a good sign-off?
I don't know. Didn't you? That's something you gotta have.
Bottoms up!
Pew pew! Audio. Goodbye, everyone.